Hello guys. The shocking will reading, How Natalia's Final Testament Changes Everything on General Hospital. A death that shakes Port Charles. The recent death of Natalia Ramirez has sent shockwaves throughout Port Charles, but what promises to be even more dramatic is the revelation of her last will and testament. On the July 1, 2025 episode, viewers witnessed the tragic end of Natalia's tumultuous journey when she was found unresponsive in her Metro Court hotel room. The character, portrayed by Eva Leroux, died from what appeared to be an overdose of pills mixed with alcohol, marking the end of a storyline that had been building toward this devastating conclusion. Natalia's death occurred following a bitter confrontation with Sonny Corinthos at baby Daisy's christening, where she made it clear their relationship was over. In her final moments, she was seen mixing dangerous combinations of medication with alcohol in her hotel room, while haunting memories of conversations with her ex-husband Jen Sidwell, her son Marco, and Sonny played through her mind. The tragedy unfolded as Marco was simultaneously trapped in a fire at Charlie's pub, preventing him from responding to his mother's final text message. The police investigation begins. Detective Chase and Anna Devane discovered Natalia's body and immediately began investigating the circumstances surrounding her death. While the initial assessment points to an overdose, both investigators are considering the possibility that the scene may have been staged. The fact that Natalia had her suitcase packed and was preparing to leave for Belize adds another layer of complexity to the investigation. The police have already identified Sonny as a person of interest, given that witnesses saw him speaking with Natalia at the christening ceremony just hours before her death. Anna informed Sonny that he was now a suspect in Natalia's death, creating yet another legal challenge for the mob boss who has been dealing with escalating conflicts throughout 2025. Marco's devastation and suspicions. Marco Rios, played by Adrian Oncondo, has been left shattered by his mother's sudden death. When he arrived at General Hospital after being treated for smoke inhalation from the Charlie's pub fire, he was confronted by Anna and Chase with the devastating news about Natalia. The emotional impact on Marco was evident as he ran into his mother's hospital room to see her lifeless body. However, Marco is not accepting the official explanation of his mother's death. He firmly believes there is more to the story than a simple overdose and has pointed the finger directly at Sonny Corinthos. Marco's suspicions are fueled by his knowledge of the contentious relationship between his mother and Sonny, particularly the circumstances that led to her planned departure to Belize. Lucas Jones has tried to counsel Marco and prevent him from making accusations that could put him in danger, but the grieving son remains convinced that Sonny played a role in his mother's demise. The unexpected will discovery. In the coming episodes, the police investigation will uncover something that will dramatically shift the entire narrative, Natalia's last will and testament. This discovery promises to be one of the most shocking revelations in recent General Hospital history, as it will reveal decisions Natalia made in her final days that no one could have anticipated. The will's discovery will likely occur as part of the standard police procedure following Natalia's death. Investigators typically search the deceased's personal effects and property for any relevant documents, and given Natalia's status as a business manager and her complex relationships in Port Charles, a thorough examination of her legal documents would be expected. Marco's role in the will reading. As Natalia's son and next of kin, Marco will be responsible for handling his mother's final affairs, including the reading of her will. This places him in the difficult position of having to face the legal reality of his mother's death while still grieving and harboring suspicions about the circumstances surrounding it. The timing of the will reading, coming after Natalia's funeral, will add emotional weight to what is already expected to be a highly charged moment. Marco's legal background as an attorney will make him particularly suited to understand the implications of whatever his mother included in her final testament. However, nothing could prepare him for the shock of discovering who she chose as her primary beneficiary. The stunning revelation, everything goes to Sonny. The most shocking aspect of Natalia's will is that she has left her entire estate to Sonny Corinthos. This revelation will come as a complete surprise to Marco, who expected to inherit his mother's possessions and assets. The decision becomes even more bewildering when considered against the backdrop of Natalia's final confrontation with Sonny and the bitter end to their relationship. This bequest raises numerous questions about Natalia's state of mind in her final days and weeks. Despite her anger and disappointment with Sonny's rejection of their relationship, she apparently still harbored feelings strong enough to make him her sole heir. The will may have been written during the period when Natalia believed she and Sonny would start a new life together in Belize, before their relationship deteriorated completely. Legal and emotional implications. The revelation that Sonny inherits everything from Natalia will have far-reaching consequences for multiple storylines. For Marco, it represents not only a financial loss but also a deeply personal betrayal by his mother. Coming on the heels of his suspicions about Sonny's involvement in Natalia's death, this inheritance will likely fuel his desire for revenge and justice. From Sonny's perspective, inheriting from Natalia creates both opportunities and complications. While he gains whatever assets she possessed, including potentially valuable information about various business dealings and personal relationships, he also becomes even more closely tied to her death in the eyes of law enforcement and her family. Impact on the murder investigation. The will's contents will undoubtedly impact the ongoing police investigation into Natalia's death. Inheriting from the deceased is often considered a motive for murder in criminal investigations, and this revelation will likely intensify suspicion around Sonny. Anna and Chase will need to determine whether Sonny knew about the will's contents before Natalia's death, as prior knowledge could suggest premeditation. The timing of when the will was written and last modified will become crucial evidence. If it was created or updated recently, particularly after Sonny's rejection of Natalia, it might suggest her death was more complicated than initially believed. Alternatively, if it was written during their relationship's peak, it could indicate that Natalia never had the opportunity or inclination to change it before her death. Marco's quest for answers. The inheritance revelation will likely strengthen Marco's resolve to uncover the truth about his mother's death. His legal training will serve him well as he seeks to understand not only the circumstances of her passing but also the reasoning behind her final wishes. Marco may begin his own investigation, potentially putting him at odds with both law enforcement and Sonny's organization. The fact that Marco saved Christina from the fire at Charlie's pub creates an interesting dynamic, as Sonny would normally be grateful to anyone who rescued his daughter. However, Marco's accusations and suspicions about his mother's death will likely override any gratitude Sonny might feel, setting up a complex adversarial relationship between the two men. Broader implications for Port Charles. Natalia's will reading will have ripple effects throughout Port Charles, affecting not just Marco and Sonny but also the broader community of characters connected to them. The revelation will likely intensify existing conflicts and create new alliances as people take sides in the unfolding drama. For characters like Anna and Chase, the will provides new evidence to consider in their investigation. For Sonny's family and associates, it represents another complication in an already turbulent period marked by mob conflicts and personal betrayals. The inheritance may also attract the attention of Sonny's enemies, who could see it as an opportunity to exploit his legal vulnerabilities. The future of the storyline. As General Hospital moves forward, the fallout from Natalia's will is expected to drive major storylines throughout the remainder of 2025. Marco's determination to prove Sonny's guilt in his mother's death will likely lead to dangerous confrontations and escalating tensions. The inheritance will also serve as a constant reminder of the complex relationship between Natalia and Sonny, keeping their troubled romance alive in the narrative even after her death. The will reading represents more than just a plot device. It serves as a final statement from a character who struggled with acceptance, love, and redemption throughout her time in Port Charles. Natalia's decision to leave everything to Sonny, despite their bitter ending, suggests that her feelings for him ran deeper than even she might have realized, making her death all the more tragic and the inheritance all the more significant for the ongoing story. Next, we're diving deep into the swirling drama of Port Charles, where betrayals, hidden agendas, and fractured loyalties threaten to upend lives in ways no one saw coming. At the heart of this storm is Kai Taylor, whose recent actions have sent shockwaves through the community, particularly for Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson. In this expanded exploration of the latest twists, we'll uncover the layers of deception surrounding Kai's bold decision to side with Quartermain, the devastating ripple effects on his relationship with Trina Robinson, and the precarious future of several key relationships in town. Buckle up, as this saga promises heartbreak, confrontation, and impossible choices. Kai's shocking betrayal, a game-changing move. In a stunning turn of events, Kai Taylor has made a daring and dangerous choice that could alter the balance of power in Port Charles. Driven by a sense of obligation to Drew Quartermain, who generously funded a life-changing surgery for him, Kai has crossed a line that may prove unforgivable. He uncovered a covert plan orchestrated by Curtis Ashford and Portia Robinson to undermine Drew by enlisting a woman named Jacinda to spread damaging lies. Their scheme was meticulously crafted. Jacinda would falsely claim that Drew willingly indulged in ketamine as a recreational drug, a story meant to tarnish his public image irreparably. This fabrication was not just a petty jab but a desperate attempt to shield Portia and Nina Reeves from Drew's relentless blackmail tactics, which have kept them in a chokehold for far too long. Kai, however, saw this as an injustice to the man who had given him a second chance at life. Without hesitation, he tipped off Drew about the plot, providing him with the ammunition to counter their attack before it could even unfold. This act of loyalty to Drew, while seemingly noble in Kai's eyes, places him squarely against Curtis and Portia, two pillars of his personal life through their connection to Trina. The gravity of his decision cannot be overstated. He choosing to protect Drew, Kai has potentially set fire to the bridges connecting him to some of the most important people in his world. What drove Kai to make such a polarizing move? Was it purely gratitude, or does he harbor deeper ambitions tied to Drew's influence in Port Charles? Only time will tell, but for now, his actions have sparked a chain reaction of consequences. The fallout with Trina, a love on the brink. Perhaps the most heartbreaking consequence of Kai's betrayal is the looming threat to his romance with Trina Robinson. Trina, a young woman with a fierce sense of family loyalty and a heart that's endured more than its share of pain, remains blissfully unaware of Kai's double-dealing for now. Their relationship, already strained by Kai's unwavering public support for Drew during tense moments like a recent press conference ambush, teeters on the edge of collapse. When Trina inevitably discovers that Kai chose to safeguard Drew over the well-being of her own parents, the emotional fallout could be catastrophic. Imagine the moment of truth, a heated family gathering at the Ashford Robinson household, where secrets have a way of spilling out like wildfire. Trina, sitting across from Kai, might catch a fleeting look of guilt in his eyes as Curtis or Portia drops a devastating hint about the betrayal. Her world, built on trust and love for both her family and Kai, could come crashing down in an instant. Will she confront him with raw and filtered emotion, demanding to know why he valued Drew's interests over her family's safety? Or will the hurt cut so deep that she simply walks away, unable to bear the weight of his disloyalty? Trina's past heartbreaks have hardened her, but they've also left scars that might make this betrayal feel like the final blow. Adding to the complexity is Kai's genuine affection for Trina, which now hangs in a delicate balance. He might argue that his actions stemmed from a place of honor and need to repay Drew for his kindness, but will Trina see it that way? The odds seem stacked against him, as her devotion to Curtis and Portia runs bone deep, especially with Portia's career and reputation dangling by a thread under Drew's manipulative control. Their romance, once a beacon of hope amidst Port Charles chaos, now faces a storm it may not weather. Could this be the end of Kai and Trina, or will love find a way to heal the wounds of betrayal? Curtis and Portia's desperate gambit, a plan unraveled. Meanwhile, Curtis and Portia find themselves in an increasingly vulnerable position thanks to Kai's interference. Their original strategy was born out of desperation, an attempt to neutralize Drew's suffocating grip on their lives. Drew's blackmail, a dark cloud over Portia's professional and personal world, pushed them to concoct a risky narrative involving Jacinda. By painting Drew as a reckless partygoer who knowingly dabbled in dangerous substances, they hoped to discredit him enough to loosen his hold over Portia and Nina. It was a gamble with high stakes, but one they felt was necessary to protect their family and future. Kai's tip-off to Drew, however, has turned their carefully laid plans to ash. Now, Drew holds not only the upper hand but also the knowledge of their deception, which he can wield as a weapon whenever he chooses. This development doesn't just jeopardize Portia's standing, it threatens to fracture the very foundation of her marriage to Curtis. The stress of keeping secrets, combined with the public scrutiny that may follow if Drew exposes their plot, could drive a wedge between them. Curtis, known for his protective nature, might grapple with feelings of failure for not anticipating Kai's betrayal, while Portia wrestles with the fear of losing everything she's fought so hard to build. Beyond their personal struggles, there's the broader impact on their family dynamic. With Trina caught in the crossfire, the Ashford Robinson household could become a battleground of conflicting loyalties and unspoken resentments. How will Curtis and Porsche navigate this minefield, knowing that their daughter's heart is also at stake? Their fight to reclaim control from Drew has only grown more perilous, and Kai's decision might just be the catalyst that brings everything crashing down. Drew Quartermain's rising power, a dangerous player. On the other side of this tangled web stands Drew Quartermain, whose influence in Port Charles seems to grow with every passing day. Thanks to Kai's warning, Drew now possesses critical information that strengthens his already formidable position. The false narrative Curtis and Porsche sought to spin against him has been thwarted before it could gain traction, leaving him free to tighten his grip on both Porsche and Nina. Drew's knack for manipulation shines through as he plays his cards with ruthless precision, ensuring that those around him remain under his thumb. But what does Drew stand to gain from all this chaos? Beyond maintaining control, there's a possibility that he's orchestrating a larger gambion where reputations are mere pawns in his quest for dominance. His past generosity toward Kai, funding a surgery that changed the young man's life, now appears less like altruism and more like a calculated investment. By securing Kai's loyalty, Drew has gained an insider's perspective into the lives of his adversaries, a tool that proves invaluable in a town where information is power. Yet, even as Drew revels in his upper hand, questions linger about how long he can sustain this web of control before someone perhaps even Kay turns against him. The road ahead, confrontations, and consequences. As the dust begins to settle on Kai's bombshell decision, Port Charles braces for the inevitable confrontations that will shape the future. Trina's eventual discovery of the truth promises to be a defining moment, one that could either shatter her bond with Kai beyond repair or force them to rebuild on a foundation of brutal honesty. Picture a tense showdown in a quiet corner of the hospital, where Trina's voice trembles with a mix of anger and pain as she asks Kai how he could choose Drew over her family. His response, whether a heartfelt plea for forgiveness or a stubborn defense of his actions, will likely determine whether their love story ends in ashes or finds a flicker of hope. For Curtis and Porsche, the battle is far from over. They must now regroup and find a new way to counter Drew's dominance, all while protecting their family from further fallout. The strain on their marriage, compounded by the risk of public exposure, will test their resilience like never before. And then there's Kai himself, caught between his gratitude to Drew and the life he's built with Trina and her family. Will he double down on his loyalty to Drew, or will the loss of Trina's trust force him to reevaluate his choices? Next, we're thrilled to delve into the heartwarming world of off-screen friendships and the dramatic on-screen conflicts that keep us glued to our screens. While the drama in Port Charles never seems to take a break, the real-life bonds between the stars of ABC General Hospital offer a refreshing glimpse of camaraderie and joy. Specifically, we're focusing on the enduring friendship between Rylan, who once portrayed Lula Spencer, and Kirsten Storms, the beloved face of Maxie Jones. Alongside their adorable daughters, these two actresses recently shared a delightful day out, reminding fans of the deep connections formed behind the scenes. Let's explore their unbreakable bond, juxtaposed with the messy entanglements their characters face, and uncover new layers to this captivating story with fresh details and insights. A friendship that transcends the screen, Rylan and Kirsten Storms unite. In a world where on-screen rivalries often dominate the narrative, the off-screen friendship between Rylan and Kirsten Storms shines like a beacon of warmth. Though Rylan has not reprised her role as Lula Spencer since her departure in 2020 after a remarkable run starting in 2013, her connection with Kirsten Storms remains as strong as ever. Recently, the duo decided to spend a sunny day together, bringing along their little girls for what turned into a memorable bestie summer adventure in 2025. Storms took to Instagram to share a candid selfie from the driver's seat of a car, with Rylan beaming beside her and their daughters giggling in the background. The caption, dripping with affection, read, "At Rylan and I were out and about today. We each brought a mini-me. Debusty Sumer of 20 to 5. The image painted a picture of pure joy while friends reveling in each other's company, far removed from the chaos of Port Charles. This heartwarming moment didn't go unnoticed by their peers. Kimberly McCullough, who once brought Robin Scorpio Drake to life, couldn't resist chiming in with a sweet comment. Calling the group cuties, it's clear that the bonds formed during their time on set have woven a tight-knit community, even among those who have moved on to new chapters. Rylan and Storm's friendship, forged through years of shared laughs, late-night script readings, and navigating the highs and lows of soap opera fame, serves as a reminder that some relationships are built to last. Their day out wasn't just a casual hangout, it was a celebration of their history, complete with their daughters forming the next generation of besties. Could this be the start of a new tradition for the families, with annual summer outings becoming a cherished ritual? Fans can only hope for more glimpses into these personal moments that contrast so beautifully with the turmoil of their on-screen personas. On-screen bonds, Lulu and Maxie's unbreakable friendship. While Rylan and Storms enjoy a seamless friendship in real life, their characters, Lulu Spencer and Maxie Jones, have long been portrayed as the ultimate BFFs on ABC General Hospital, though not without their fair share of complications. During Rylan's tenure as Lulu, the duo's dynamic was a fan favorite, filled with moments of unwavering support amidst the inevitable drama that Port Charles throws their way. Even now, with Lulu played by a different actress, the essence of their bond remains a cornerstone of the show. Maxie, with her fierce loyalty and knack for getting entangled in messy situations, has always found a confidant in Lulu, even when their paths diverge due to conflicting loyalties. However, recent storylines have tested this friendship like never before. Lulu's impulsive actions have put her at odds with another of Maxie's close allies, Brooklyn Quartermain Chase, often referred to as BLQ. The tension between Lulu and BLQ has placed Maxie in an unenviable position, caught between two friends she holds dear. Despite her best efforts to play peacemaker, Maxie has watched helplessly as bridges burned rather than mended. This rift not only highlights the complexities of friendship in a town rife with secrets but also underscores the emotional toll it takes on Maxie, who thrives on harmony among her loved ones. How will she navigate this divided loyalty, especially when the stakes keep rising? Their on-screen journey, mirroring the real-life closeness of Rylan and Storms in unexpected ways, continues to draw viewers into the intricate web of relationships that define General Hospital. Maxie's frustration, caught in the crossfire of conflict. On the canvas of Port Charles, Kirsten Storm's character, Maxie Jones, is grappling with mounting frustration as her attempts to reconcile Lulu and BLQ crumble spectacularly. The core of the conflict lies in Lulu's refusal to offer a sincere apology to Brooklyn for her role in a deeply personal revelation. Lulu's careless actions led to the public exposure of Giovanni Joe Palmieri's true parentage during the glitzy 2025 Nurses' Ball, an event meant to celebrate unity and healing. Instead, it became the stage for Gio's emotional breakdown as he learned that Brooklyn is his biological mother and Dante Falconeri his father, a truth he was unprepared to face in such a public manner. Maxie, ever the loyal friend, tried to smooth over the fallout, urging Lulu to show remorse for the pain she inflicted. But Lulu's stubbornness has only deepened the divide, leaving Maxie feeling powerless and exasperated. The situation is further complicated by BLQ's own quest for truth, as she digs into the murky circumstances surrounding Rocco Falconeri's birth. Whispers of Dr. Britt Westburn's involvement in carrying Rocco to term have resurfaced, adding another layer of intrigue and potential heartbreak to an already volatile situation. Maxie watches as the threads of her social circle unravel, knowing that every secret unearthed pushes reconciliation further out of reach. Could this be the breaking point for Maxie, forcing her to choose sides or distance herself from both friends to protect her own peace of mind? The emotional weight of her predicament is palpable, mirroring the real-life challenges of balancing friendships amidst conflict. The ripple effects of secrets in Port Charles. The drama surrounding Lulu, Maxie, and BLQ is a stark reminder of how quickly secrets can destabilize lives in Port Charles. Gio's meltdown at the Nurses' Ball was just the beginning of a public spectacle that left lasting scars on his sense of identity and trust. As he struggles to process the revelation of his parentage, his relationships with both Brooklyn and Dante are tinged with uncertainty. Will he find a way to forgive Lulu for her role in this upheaval, or will resentment fester, creating yet another fracture in the community? Gio's journey towards acceptance is poised to be a slow and painful one, with each episode peeling back new layers of his emotional turmoil. Meanwhile, BLQ's investigation into Rocco Falconeri's origins threatens to unearth even more explosive truths. The shadow of Dr. Britt Westburn, a figure tied to some of Port Charles' most controversial medical ethics scandals, looms large over this storyline. If BLQ discovers that Britt's actions altered the course of Rocco's life in ways no one anticipated, the fallout could ripple through the Falconeri family, impacting Dante and even Lulu herself. Add to this the existing tension between Lulu and BLQ, and it's clear that Port Charles is sitting on a powder keg of revelations waiting to detonate. How will Maxi, already stretched thin, cope with the potential chaos that lies ahead? Her role as the reluctant mediator might soon become untenable as loyalties are tested in ways she never imagined. Real-life joy versus on-screen drama, a beautiful contrast. The juxtaposition of Rylan and Kirsten Storm's real-life friendship with the on-screen struggles of their characters offers a fascinating dichotomy for fans. Off-camera, their day out with their daughters symbolizes a sanctuary of laughter and light, a stark contrast to the heavy burdens Maxi and Lulu carry in Port Charles. The Instagram post, brimming with carefree energy, serves as a balm for viewers who are emotionally invested in the characters' plights. It's a reminder that behind every intense storyline are actors who share genuine connections, grounding the fictional drama in a sense of real-world humanity. Their daughters, dubbed minions in Storm's post, add an extra layer of charm to the narrative. Imagine the two little girls growing up with stories of their mother's adventures on set, perhaps even aspiring to follow in their footsteps someday. This glimpse into their personal lives also sparks curiosity about how Rylan and Storms balance the demands of their careers with motherhood, especially given the emotional intensity of their roles. Their ability to switch from the high-stakes drama of General Hospital to playful family outings is a testament to their resilience and the strength of their bond that fans hope will inspire future reunions, both on and off the screen. What lies ahead? Friendships tested and bonds strengthened. As we look to the future, the intertwining stories of friendship with real and fiction now promise to keep us captivated. In Port Charles, Maxi's struggle to mend the rift between Lulu and BLQ will likely intensify as new secrets come to light. The unresolved issues surrounding Gio's parentage and Rocco's birth are tinder for future conflicts, with Maxi caught in the inevitable crossfire. Will she emerge as the glue that holds her friends together, or will the strain prove too much, forcing her to step back and prioritize her own well-being? Off-screen, the enduring friendship of Rylan and Kirsten Storms offers a ray of hope amidst the turmoil. Their recent outing might just be the first of many shared moments in 2025, giving fans something to cheer for beyond the drama of General Hospital. Could we see Rylan make a guest appearance to reconnect with Storms on set, perhaps sparking rumors of a Lulu Spencer comeback? While that remains speculation, one thing is certain: their bond is a treasure that enriches the tapestry of the General Hospital community. What do you think about the heartwarming friendship between Rylan and Kirsten Storms, and how do you see Maxi navigating the stormy waters of her on-screen relationships? Join the conversation below as we continue to follow every twist, turn, and joyful moment in the world of ABC General Hospital. Stay tuned for more spoilers, updates, and behind-the-scenes glimpses that keep us coming back for more.